Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to be in your company at the 2014 Alumni Awards Dinner. My name is Libby Dernwald, and I'm a senior here at the University of Dayton, studying international studies in Spanish with minors in international business and political science. I am also the president of Students Today, Alumni Tomorrow. It's a student organization partnered with the Alumni Association, responsible for cultivating meaningful student engagement to create lifelong relationships and build loyalty with the university. Although we all have graduated from the university at different times, I know we all have at least one thing in common here tonight: our love for the university and understanding that we are flyers not for just 4 years, but forever. Stepping onto campus my freshman year and walking up the steps to my first UD home, Marycrest, I never anticipated what an amazing journey the next 4 years would be. I have had opportunities to lead on campus in student organizations and in my job as a tour guide. I have had the opportunity to serve in the Dayton community and also in Central America. And I have also had the opportunity to learn, not only in the classroom, but through summer internship opportunities, such as my summer opportunity in Washington, D.C. this summer with Catholic Relief Services. I knew going to college I would have an academically enriching experience, but I never realized UD would become my home and my friends would become my family. I know that all of us here tonight share that special UD feeling, and I know that it is something I will cherish forever. So growing up, my family had a very strict rule of no cell phones at the dinner table. So, although against my mother's chagrin, I'm going to break that, and I want everyone to break that right now. So if you want to pull out your phones, send a text, a tweet to any friends, family, or fellow flyers that cannot be here tonight, please encourage them to watch the live stream tonight starting at 8. But I would like you guys to refrain from taking any selfies. That's a bit ridiculous. So following the invocation, we have a special musical performance for you. Andrea Chenoweth-Wells will be joining us, and she is the sister of our Special Achievement Award recipient, Erica Chenoweth. She will sing, accompanied by John Benjamin, who will also provide dinner music. Andrea and John are both artists in residence. I would now like to introduce our Vice President for Mission and Rector, Father Jim Fitz, to give the invocation.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, as we begin our meal together this evening, we come together in a spirit of thankfulness and praise. We are especially thankful this evening for the contributions of our special guests, the 2014 Alumni Award winners. They have all made significant contributions to the world in which we live. We give thanks to you, our God, for Dr. Sean Donahue, who has cared for the sight of children, for Dr. Erica Chenoweth, who has made contributions to the study of peace, for Michael Sewell, who has used his skills as a servant leader in his community, for Blaine Collison, who has committed to education fueled by his deep spirituality and his dedication to service and justice. For the Honorable Frank Geraci, who has spent countless hours serving the University of Dayton alumni and community. And for Justin Forzano, who has contributed to the people of Cameroon, especially the empowering of youth there. May all these achievements remind all of us gathered here of the important mission of this university and lead us as alumni and friends to help the university to be strong in its commitment to educating the whole person and to linking learning and scholarship with leadership and service. Bless our time together this evening. Bless our food and our sharing of friendship. bless our common commitment to this university. Gracious God, we raise our minds and hearts in prayer to you, now and forever. Amen.
You guys can all start eating your salads and stuff too now. You're good.
to be with the friends around me who have found me, who show me how. I want to sing to the early morning, see the sunlight melt the snow, and I want to grow. I want to wake to the living spirit here inside me where it lies. I want to listen till I can hear it, let it guide me and realize that I can go with the flow unending, that is blending, that is real, and I want to feel. I want to walk in the earthly garden, far from cities, far from fear. I want to talk to the growing garden, to the divas and to the deer, and to be one with the river flowing, breezes blowing, sky above. And I want to love.
All right, everyone, I'm hoping that you have so far enjoyed dinner. And before we start on the awards, I would like to just make some acknowledgments real quick. So first, we'd like to acknowledge some of our groups that have been here, our VIPs, I should say, in attendance. And when I call your names, please stand. So first, the University Board and Honorary Board of Trustee members, please stand. If you're here. The Presidents and Provost Councils. Next, the Alumni Association, volunteers, board members, community presidents, Day 10 community, and reunion co-chairs. Advisory Council members. And last but not least, the Marianists. We would also like to recognize those alumni who have previously received an alumni award. Please stand and be recognized. I now would like to recognize a man who has become an iconic crowd surfer and who most recently showed off his kayaking skills to my peers and I during a kayaking trip down Mad River. Let's just say he was only one of 4 people to really experience the water of Mad River, which might have had an effect, too, on his health tonight. Dr. Daniel J. Curran is in his 13th year at the University of Dayton as the 18th president and first lay leader. Dr. Curran is guiding the Catholic Marianist University through transformational times and presiding over an era of remarkable growth. During his tenure, the University of Dayton earned recognition as a top-tier research university by almost every measure, from enrollment to research dollars to rankings. The university has grown in stature. The pace of change has been among the most rapid and substantial seen at any American university. Please welcome President Dan Curran.
Good evening, everybody, and let me apologize for my voice. And this is really somewhat disappointing. I had intended to do a 45-minute review of our strategic plan tonight and surprise all of you with something very special, but I'll have to pass on that at this point. But really, this is one of my favorite nights of the year, and there's no need for the president to say too much, because the stories of the 6 people that are receiving the awards tonight speak for themselves. These are individuals who have lived our Marinus mission, and they lived it in very different ways. And when you see these individuals and hear their stories, you'll realize that they've been out there making our spirit visible, carrying our charism forward in a very meaningful way. They're all community builders, and on campus, we talk a lot about the need for us not only to love the University of Dayton community, to make sure that we move out into the world and build community. Again, all unique visions and unique talents to do this. And they really make us appreciate the education that we give people here at the university. And certainly all these individuals have made the world a better place. So I'll stop here and I'll congratulate all the award winners, and we'll proceed with our program. Thanks, everybody.
The 2014 University of Dayton Alumni Association's Joe Bell Memorial Award for Volunteer Service and Early Career Achievement is presented to Justin Forzano. In 2006, Justin traveled to Cameroon, Africa, as part of UD's Ethos Immersion program. The following summer, he and a team of fellow civil engineering students returned with the funds, a design, and a dream which led to the construction of water systems in rural areas that have greatly benefited the local population. Brother Philip Aaron said, "What they accomplished was nothing short of success. This team of engineers proved that 6 students could inspire and change the lives of a small community." While in Cameroon, Justin spent many afternoons playing soccer and was inspired by others who were using the sport to fight HIV, empower women, and heal former child soldiers. On return trips, he brought used soccer equipment with him, donated by family and friends. Along with local community leaders, he created the Cameroon Football Development Program, a nonprofit that inspires youth and teaches leadership skills. Capitalizing on soccer as a global phenomenon has been transformative. Justin says nothing captivates people like competition, from amateur afternoon matches in the neighborhood to the professional leagues of Europe to the World Cup. This program is about more than soccer. It's about transforming the hope and the passion that youth all across the world have for the game to create positive change in a community. The lessons learned are innumerable: focus, discipline, communication, and teamwork. Justin makes frequent trips to Cameroon, devoting hundreds of hours to promoting the program. He spends all of his vacation time from his engineering job in Pittsburgh working for the Cameroon Football Development Program mission. Justin found his passion while at UD and has followed through with real action. For these accomplishments, the Alumni Association is proud to present the 2014 Joe Bell Memorial Award to Justin Forzano. Justin is unable to join us this evening. He is participating in the Pittsburgh Hub of Global Shapers, an initiative for the World Economic Forum. He sends his remarks via video.
I want to say that it's an honor to accept the Joe Bell Memorial Award. I won't lie, I was very surprised, and I'm very humbled to receive it. So I really would like to thank Brother Phil Aaron, for nominating me, and of course the committee for selecting me. It's an honor beyond words, and I can't say that I'll accept it, personally or on my own, but let me accept it on behalf of my family, and of course my family, in Wheeling, West Virginia, but also my family in Cameroon, because the work that I do right now with Cameroon Football Development Program is certainly not possible without my second family in my second home in Kumba, Cameroon. And of course, I cannot, I would not be where I am today if it was not for the experience that I had as a student at the University of Dayton, and even more so in the School of Engineering with the Ethos program. Spending 3 summers in Cameroon changed my life. It put me in a position now. It allowed me to know my role as a citizen of the world and what I can contribute. And I don't think you can ask for anything more out of a university experience or a degree program. So I know that the work that I'm doing, I continue to emulate the learn, lead, and serve, the ethos of the University of Dayton. And my accepting this award is only a credit to UD and to what we've been able to accomplish in Cameroon. So with that, I really say thank you, and I look forward to continuing on working in Cameroon, working to use the game of football to change the lives of youth, not only in Cameroon, but all around the world, in the name of UD. So go Flyers.
Tonight, we honor Mike Sewell with the University of Dayton Alumni Association's Special Achievement Award. Mike left UD in 1985 with an accounting degree, a job, and a passion for helping his community. His service to others began on campus with a leadership role in the Beta Alpha Psi accounting fraternity and the Delta Sigma Pi business fraternity. Since then, he has served on the boards of the Cincinnati Ballet, YMCA, Children's Hospital Medical Center, and the Ronald McDonald House, where he led the transformation of its facility to the 3rd largest in the world. Today, Mike is CFO, Senior Vice President, and Treasurer of the Cincinnati Financial Corporation. He is one of Cincinnati's past 40 under 40 designees, received honors on National Philanthropy Day in 1996 and 1999, and was a finalist for the Greater Cincinnati Chamber of Commerce's 1999 Award for Outstanding Community Service. Mike has made volunteering a family affair, involving his 4 children in Ronald McDonald House activities, from raising funds instead of receiving birthday gifts, to creating and leading Christian service projects. Creating community seems to come naturally to Mike, and he believes in the value of friendship. He has organized several high school and college reunions and has spent more than 20 years recruiting for Deloitte & Touche, helping to connect UD graduates to the firm. With strong roots in Southwest Ohio, Mike says the region's best-kept secret lies in its diversity. He says, Cincinnati has everything a larger city can boast about, but with a smaller family feel. But an even better reason? It's a short drive to attend a UD basketball game, eat at Milano's, and take a stroll on UD's campus. For his professional accomplishments and his community leadership, the University of Dayton Alumni Association is proud to present the 2014 Special Achievement Award to Mike Sewell.
Great, thank you very much, Dr. Kern, and thank you, Kevin Maloney. I appreciate that. And I also like to thank the UD family for giving me this honor and allowing me to be here tonight to talk to you and to be able to share this honor with you. Before I get started, I'd like to also congratulate the other winners that you're going to be hearing that will be coming up. Great stories that we're all doing. We're just a few people. I think everyone who graduates from the University of Dayton, I think, are probably doing better things than I'm doing, but I'm lucky enough to be chosen, and so I congratulate the rest of you also. I'd also like to just spend just one quick second to introduce the folks who have supported me for 30 years, maybe even 50 years. And so I've got a table full of folks over here. My parents, Bob and Ellen Sewell, are here. My in-laws, Paul and Maureen Napoli. My lovely bride, who is also, it's a UD marriage that came about. So I graduated in 85, she graduated in 87. And so my beautiful wife, and then I've got 4 wonderful children. One's a junior in college, one's a sophomore, senior in high school, and then I've got one who is so excited that she just started 6th grade in the middle school. Thank you. You know, as I look back at my time at UD, I'm thankful for what I've learned and the experiences that I experienced and that has really stayed with me for the last 30 years. Leadership and the desire to help others was always a character of mine, but the university, I think, really helped bring it out, helped me expand it, help to nurture it, which has allowed me to take that on to future organizations. Probably one of the most memorable on the university's campus was Beta Alpha Psi that you heard up on the screen. There was a group of young students that decided to bring this honorary accounting firm onto the campus, and so we did that, I think it was about my junior year. I was elected as the first president, and it was a petitioning chapter, and so we organized, sent in a petition, and we actually got the organization on campus it was right after I graduated. It's great. It's still on campus for the last 30 years. 2 years after I graduated, my wife was also a part of the organization, and believe it or not, 30 years later, now my son is also part of Beta Alpha Psi. So it's really neat to see how it's continued on. Over the last 30 years, the leadership and the desire to help others has, I need to move, I lost my place. Sorry about that. One of the organizations in Cincinnati that's really close to my heart, and I've been involved with that, is for the last 20 years, is the Ronald McDonald House of Greater Cincinnati, which is a home away from home for families of critically ill children in Cincinnati. And it's a great place. At the time, when I came onto the board, I served as treasurer for 3 years, and then I was elected as board chairman, and I served in that spot for 3 years. And at the time, I was the youngest board chairman to head up that organization. And during that time, we kicked off a $10 million capital campaign. We built a 50-room house. We went from 20 rooms to 50. Actually, the house right now is at 80 rooms. And at the time, we were the 3rd largest house in the world. Since then, other houses have grown and become larger than us. Don't tell anyone, but I had no idea what I was doing because I was about mid-30s, and going out and issuing debt and building a building was really, it was a lot of fun, and it was a thrill. I'm still very much involved with that organization. I chair the annual golf outing each year that grosses over $300,000 to help this charity. More recently, I just completed a 6-year term at Kenwood Country Club, with the last year serving as president. During my presidency, we kicked off a $15 million renovation and expansion of the club that will be opening up next year. And this is going to be it'll be a great project to be able to attract younger members from the community and make sure that we're the club of excellence going forward to the future. After a 26-year career with Deloitte, the last 15 years being a partner, I received a dream offer of a lifetime, and that was to become the CFO of Cincinnati Financial Corporation, located in Cincinnati. If you're not aware of Cincinnati Financial, it's a publicly traded company, an insurance company with about we'll have a little over $4.5 billion in revenues this year, over $17 billion in assets, and we have over 4,200 employees, which helps others in their time of need and loss. You know, I work every day to expand the revenue and grow the revenue there, which is in turn will grow the number of employees we need that is really going to help increase the community in which we live, but also create jobs around the country where we are. I bring these examples back to UD, where it really all started for me. Having opportunities, given the chance to lead, living with UD students that have lots of character, have given me the opportunity to make a difference in the larger community. So I'd like to thank the UD community for this honor, and thank you for being here tonight. Thank you.
Tonight, we also honor Erica Chenoweth with the Alumni Association Special Achievement Award. Erica, a 2002 graduate, majored in political science and German and is internationally recognized as the authority on political violence and its alternatives. She is ranked among Foreign Policy Magazine's 2013 Top 100 Global Thinkers. She is currently an associate professor at Joseph Korbel School of International Studies at the University of Denver and an associate senior researcher at the Peace Research Institute of Oslo. Together with Maria Stefan, Erica won the 2013 Grawemeyer Award for Ideas Improving World Order for their book, Why Civil Resistance Works: The Strategic Logic of Nonviolent Conflict, which won the 2012 Woodrow Wilson Foundation Award for Best Book Published in the U.S. on Government, Politics, or International Affairs. Charles Ziegler, the director of the Grawemeyer Award, says the implications of their work are enormous. Not only do their findings validate the work done by Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr., but they shed new light on the political change we're seeing today, such as the Arab Spring process in Egypt and other Middle Eastern nations. In addition to her teaching duties, Erica directs the University of Denver's program on terrorism and insurgents research. Previously, she was an assistant professor at Wesleyan University in Connecticut, where she received the Carol A. Baker Memorial Prize, recognizing excellence in junior faculty teaching and research. She was also a fellow at Harvard University's Kennedy School of Government, Stanford University's Center for International Security and Cooperation, and the University of California, Berkeley's Institute of International Studies. Erica says her favorite feedback comes from elementary or middle school students who ask questions about civil resistance as part of their school projects. She says it's very encouraging to know that young people are becoming more familiar with nonviolent resistance. For achievements in the field of international politics and peace research, the University of Dayton Alumni Association is proud to present the 2014 Special Achievement Award to Erica Chenoweth.
Well, thank you so much for this amazing honor. I'm delighted to be back here at UD, and I too would like to recognize the people who raised me and keep me humble. My parents, Richard and Marianne Chenoweth, who are here, also UD affiliates. My dad is a professor, or has been a professor in the music department and is now the Grawl chair. My mom, Marianne, who has got her master's in education here. My sister, Andrea, who's an alum and who graced us with her amazing vocal talent earlier tonight. My beautiful spouse, Allison, who joined me here tonight from Denver, and my best friend, Catherine Mix, who graduated with me and also lived with me for 2 years while we were here at UD. So thanks, everybody, and thanks to the association and President Curran and the whole crew for this amazing honor. I want to talk a little bit about how I got started in my work on nonviolent resistance to sort of demonstrate how UD's mission of learn, lead, and serve has totally shaped my effort in that area. The most important aspect of learning I developed at UD was the ability to have an open mind, to challenge my prior beliefs, to subject them to the evidence of my senses, and to be willing to change my mind in the face of empirics that contradicted even my own deeply held convictions. This is perhaps one of the most scary and sometimes painful intellectual exercises a human being can undertake, yet UD challenged me to do this in all areas of my life. This practice has paid off in many respects. In 2006, my colleague Maria Stephan and I were having an argument. She was making the claim that civil resistance, where unarmed people use a variety of nonviolent methods like strikes, boycotts, stayaways, and go-slows to confront a brutal opponent, could be as effective or even more effective than armed struggle in achieving political change. I was unconvinced, thinking that this was probably a naive, dangerous, and unsubstantiated notion. But I was also curious, and if she was right and I was wrong, we both figured somebody better find out. So for the next 2 years, I collected data on all major nonviolent and violent campaigns for the overthrow of a government or a territorial liberation around the world since 1900. The data cover every country in the world and include all known campaigns that consist of at least 1,000 observed participants. So this constitutes hundreds of cases. Then I analyzed the data, and the results blew me away. From 1900 to 2006, nonviolent campaigns worldwide were twice as likely to succeed as violent insurgencies. And this trend has been increasing over time, such that in the past 50 years, nonviolent resistance is becoming increasingly frequent and effective, whereas violent insurgency is becoming increasingly ineffective and rare. This is true even in extremely repressive, authoritarian conditions where we might expect nonviolent resistance to fail. Maria and I ended up publishing a book on this topic, which is one of the reasons that we've gotten a lot of attention lately. I think the larger reason is something like this. Real learning doesn't always just come by making up my mind about something. Real learning usually happens for me when I change my mind about something. Soon after the book came out, I'd become a recognized yet accidental authority in the study of civil resistance. And this was by no real virtue of my own, but was rather the function of really good timing. We published our book in the summer of 2011, at the height of the Arab awakening. As you can imagine, people with knowledge in this field were suddenly called upon to shed some light on these events and what they might mean for the course of history. So I found myself traveling the world talking with statesmen, activists, scholars, advocates from all corners of the globe about the immense power of nonviolent alternatives to violent conflict. On one occasion, I was in the UK delivering a talk to a group of diplomats from the UN, the EU, and the Arab League. And after my talk, I was approached by the Reverend James Lawson, one of my personal heroes and the man who himself had introduced Martin Luther King Jr. to the theory and practice of Gandhian nonviolence in the 1950s. He said to me, "Erica, I really like the work you're doing, and the way you talk about your research is compelling and important, but you've got to have a little faith." Reverend Lawson was trying to remind me that the people I was talking about, the subjects of my research, and those who would be using it in their own struggles, were human beings, complex, sensitive people who love, hurt, and bleed just the same. He was giving me some encouragement to think about this subject, not just as a matter of empirical inquiry, but as a life and death errand for many, a fundamental question of how human beings could and should treat each other, and a subject in whose promise for global healing I could humbly place my confidence. This conversation brought me to a new sense of gratitude for the rich liberal arts education I received here at UD. I was grateful that, in addition to my political science major and German major, the core curriculum forced me to integrate my understandings of history, philosophy, and theology, that my senior honors program seminar was on the topic of whether faith and reason could coincide. You see, I knew how to crunch the numbers, but I didn't yet know how to articulate the spirit and the music underneath them and the ways that the simple message of the efficacy of nonviolent resistance could resonate with people around the world. With skills or trade-based college courses, you can certainly train a doctor to save a life, but only with holistic, integrated liberal arts education can you teach that doctor to value the life he just saved. The liberal arts is so necessary, not only to develop our reason, but also to give us a little faith. So you can see that UD's charge to learn, to lead, and to serve has come full circle for me. As I do the daily work of research, teaching, and giving back, the values of learning, leading, and serving are alive for me in every moment. I'm immensely grateful for the experience that UD has given me, the permission to be wrong, the permission to enjoy the beauty of human creativity, and the permission to have a little faith. These are the principles that animate my life's work today. Thank you.
The 2014 Special Service Award is presented to the Honorable Frank Geraci. Frank earned a political science degree in 1973 and his Juris Doctorate in 1977. He is currently the judge of the U.S. District Court for the Western District of New York, the first and only University of Dayton School of Law graduate to have achieved this distinction. As the past president of the Alumni Association, the parent of 3 UD graduates, soon to be 4, and the 2-time leader of the Rochester alumni community, Frank knows the road to UD well. He plans an annual bus trip of at least 50 flyers to support the men's basketball team at games in Dayton or at St. Bonaventure. He often shares the story of his first visit to the UD campus, made on the recommendation of a friend. When he arrived, he wondered why he made the trip. By the time he left, he knew he was where he belonged. At every point between arriving for classes in August 1969 and receiving his presidential appointment in December 2012, Frank has been and continues to be a champion for the University of Dayton. He has served as an admissions volunteer, hosted new student picnics, planned alumni community events like Christmas off campus, and held leadership roles in the Rochester alumni community. He served on the Alumni Association board for nearly 10 years, and his vision and leadership led to the creation of the Alumni Center. He also served on the University Board of Trustees and on several reunion weekend committees. Frank says, organizing trips to watch the Flyers play has been easy because nothing unites UD alumni, family, and friends like UD basketball. Where else could you get 50 people to spend 8 hours on a bus, enjoy some UD basketball highlights, share a few meals, and 1 bathroom? Now that's UD. In recognition of his life of service, the University of Dayton Alumni Association is proud to present the 2014 Special Service Award to Frank Geraci.
I know we have a time limit speaking tonight, a very strict one. However, we left 6 grandchildren at the Marriott with 3 UD students, and we're in no hurry to get back there. So this could be a while. My name is Frank Geraci, and I grew up in the ghetto. Now we know that the ghetto is a term of endearment on this campus. It's a place that you can make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. It's a place where you learn how to be a good neighbor. It's a place where you learn to accept differences among people. Fundamentally, it's a place where you learn to live. I've had the benefit of a UD education, and I've had the opportunity to watch all 4 of my children experience the uniqueness of a UD education. Kim is a successful businesswoman at Wegmans Foods. Pam is a dedicated inner-city school teacher. Mike is a skilled labor and criminal lawyer. And Matt, a junior, enjoying the UD Sports Management program here at UD and his time with the Sigma Nu brothers. Sometimes enjoying the time a little too much, but. Now, I came to this UD campus 45 years ago. Sight unseen. 7 of us, my parents, my 4 sisters, and I, arrived in my dad's 1968 Oldsmobile, packed with all my worldly possessions in a blue trunk, including my AM clock radio. I remember staring out the window as they drove away and thinking, what the hell am I doing here?
I didn't know much about this school, except it was Catholic, which was a prerequisite coming from a Jesuit school in Rochester. And they had a great engineering program. Quite frankly, I had no interest in engineering. After a few minutes, I walked down Stewart Hill, walked down till I met this tall, lanky guy with a southern accent. Bill Backus told me he was a graduate of Xavier High School in Cincinnati. It turned out he had a room right down the hall from me, and from that fateful meeting, a friendship for life was begun. And we've had many more friendships over our time at UD. I'm very fortunate to enjoy 40 years of friendship with some of my UD classmates who are here tonight, both the Druids and the Schlarps, and I thank them for being here. We've celebrated our own weddings together, the births of our children, the weddings of our children, and now the birth of our grandchildren. Those friendships were started, developed, and fostered here on this campus. In my first semester here, I vividly remember attending an early class in philosophy. Upon arrival, I noticed the students were frantically looking through their notes. Only then did I recall that we were going to have our first quiz that day. I had forgotten, and there was no excuse. The professor had written on the board the dates of the exams. I had it in my notebook, but I forgot. Coming from a Jesuit high school, I sheepishly approached the front of the room, told the professor that I was not prepared, expecting to be soundly rejected. Instead, the professor, and I don't recall his name, said to me, to my surprise, "Can you come back tomorrow and take the exam?" With that response, he was really saying two very important things. First, you made a mistake, and we're going to give you a second chance. And secondly, I'm going to trust that you're not going to talk to the other students in the class and find out what was on that quiz. Life lessons were learned that day. Throughout my career as a prosecutor and as a judge, I remember that people make mistakes. They deserve a second chance. That's why I formed a teen court, supported the drug court, mental health court, veterans court. And the other important lesson I learned was the importance of integrity and honesty throughout your career and throughout your life. 2 years later on this campus, September 3rd, 1971, the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base Museum was dedicated. President Richard Nixon was there to speak. My housemates and I drove to the Air Force Base to hear the president. At the base, we were met with a human turnstile of National Guardsmen who stood shoulder to shoulder with black tape covering their names so they could not be identified, pointing rifles with bayonets on the end at us. They informed us that we were not welcome there. Anyone with long hair or beard was not welcome. I heard today if the Wright brothers there, they probably wouldn't have been welcome either. We were considered trespassers and were asked to leave. People were pushed in the mud. Several hundred were pushed into tractor trailers and held without any basis that day. The incident was a reminder of how fragile our freedom and democracy can be, and only enhanced my interest in government, in politics, and in constitutional law. Now, we all know this is a special place. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Recall meeting somebody connected to this university. Shortly after they noticed your UD hat, UD shirt, UD bumper sticker, you're talking about life in the ghetto, porch parties, a UD professor, or the Dayton Flyers. You feel like you're back on that porch in the neighborhood. UD people are unique because we have not only learned together, we've lived together. That is why the admissions strategy at this school is very simple. Have prospective students visit this campus, have them see it, have them feel it, they'll apply, and they will enroll. Where but at the University of Dayton does the president crowd surf with the students after beating the Syracuse Orangemen? Where but at the University of Dayton does a couch get sacrificed? When you beat Notre Dame in the 70s, and then another couch in 2014 when you beat the Ohio State University. As proud as we are of our basketball team's success this year, we're more proud of the fact that the University of Dayton, student athletes are students first. Where but at the University of Dayton can you call up the provost and say, "Dr. Saliba, I have a student from Rochester who wants to know more about the civil engineering program there," and the response being, he can come and talk to me. And then I'll send him over to talk to the real Dr. Saliba in the engineering school. Wherever at the University of Dayton, can you call the director of admissions and say, Kathy, I have a student from Rochester. The family really wants to send a student here, but they're not sure they can make the numbers work to make it affordable. Somehow Kathy always makes the numbers work. You see, that's UD. In 1997, some 20 years after I left this campus, I called the Alumni House to find out why there was no president in Rochester. In the blink of an eye, a woman with a strong Kentucky accent was in my living room, standing in front of my fireplace, espousing the benefits of taking a leadership role in the Alumni Association. Quite frankly, Kathy Harmon, you had me at hello. Through my involvement with the Alumni Association, I've had the benefit of meeting some very wonderful people, including Kathy Harmon, Bill Hunt, Regis Leakin, Anita and James Brothers, Vicki Giambrone, Joe Spadaford, and Kevin Maloney. I've had the opportunity to observe the integrity of the leadership here under Dr. Raymond Fitz, Dr. Dan Curran, and Athletic Director Tim Wagler. I've witnessed the commitment of providing a quality education from the professors here, from the late Dr. Jerry Kearns, Dr. Mark Ansalacco, and my law school professors, Dennis Turner, Dale Searcy, and Judge Walter Rice. I've had the opportunity to work with the dedicated members of the National Alumni Association and the University Board of Trustees. Therefore, I humbly accept this Special Service Award, particularly mindful of the tremendous accomplishments of the other recipients. It is this university, however, that should receive the Special Service Award for all it does to mold great citizens of communities throughout this country and throughout the world. This is a place where the philosophy of learn, lead, and serve is more than a hollow slogan. I believe in God winks. A God wink is something that you think is a coincidence, but later, upon reflection, realize there was some divine intervention in that significant life event. A God wink got me to meet my wife, Carla, at Rochester City Hall in 1975, resulting in 35 years of marriage, 4 great children, and 6 beautiful grandchildren. And I believe it was a God wink that got me to this campus in 1969, and those God winks have made all the difference. I'm eternally grateful to my parents who sacrificed so that I could enjoy the benefit of this great university and become the first college graduate in my family. To steal a line from comedian Bill Cosby, some people graduate magna cum laude, some graduate summa cum laude, some graduate cum laude. I grew up in the ghetto, and I graduated from the University of Dayton. Thank you, Lottie.
Tonight we honor Blaine Collison with the Alumni Association's Christian Service Award. As principal of Archbishop Moeller High School in Cincinnati, Blaine Collison embodies the Marinist principles of educating the whole person. His energy and commitment to education are fueled by his deep spirituality and his dedication to service and justice. Jim Elfers, the school director of pastoral ministry, says Blaine recognizes the inherent value in each person and consistently makes decisions through the lens of our mission as a Catholic school, answering tough questions in light of our Marinist philosophy. As a recipient of the high school's Founders Award, co-workers call Blaine a bridge builder. Sister Judy Cly says, "Join us at Moeller someday, and you will experience the family spirit that he brings into our building. His service to Moeller goes far beyond the everyday duties of a principal. He embodies the Marinist spirit." In Blaine's 8-year tenure at Moeller, he has begun a wide range of initiatives, from a laptop program to a new counseling model to FAC Act, a day for the entire faculty to go into the community and serve at nursing homes, soup kitchens, food banks, and more. He has implemented a house system at Moeller that ensures community and family spirit are at the forefront of success through upperclassmen mentoring underclassmen. Blaine says he is most passionate about the Support Service Program, which serves the needs of students with learning disabilities. He also has participated in the school's Kairos retreats, junior retreats, and spent a week this past summer on a service trip to New Mexico with Moeller students. His tireless efforts have set a high standard for the young men at Moeller as he continues to be a leader rooted in service to others. The University of Dayton Alumni Association is proud to present the 2014 Christian Service Award to Blaine Collison.
Thank you, Dr. Kern and Mr. Maloney. It's great to be here this evening. Before I start, I do want to thank some people who are here. I want to thank Bill and Susie Cavanaugh, my dear, dear friends. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot. And to Bill Hunt. Many of you in this room know Bill from his days here working in UD's development department. His lovely wife, Joey. Thank you. Bill's now the president, so I have the pleasure of working with Bill every day at Moeller. And it's tremendous to have a great relationship in the president-principal model. Sister Judy Cly, who, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be standing here right now, so thank you. She's a colleague, a friend, a confidant, and my spiritual advisor. And we have lots of good conversations. Thank you to my sister-in-law, Jan Galliardo, who supports our family greatly, especially our son, Quinn, who I know he's watching this on live stream. He's a sophomore at Bucknell University, so put your beer down. I'll say hi to your lacrosse buddies because I know what you guys are doing. Be sure you guys study tomorrow. I mean it. And then to my lovely wife, Kelly, who's been with me now 24 years, and she's also a UD alum from '81, and my greatest supporter, and thanks, my soulmate and partner and everything. So it's just great to be here. Congratulations to all the other recipients. What a great cohort to be a part of. It's kind of a little overwhelming, really, but congratulations to each of them. And I'm honored to receive this award because the University of Dayton means the world to me. Growing up in Columbus, Ohio, as the youngest of 5 children in a lower middle-class family, and we struggled at times after my father died when I was very young. And I would have never imagined, I couldn't imagine, ever coming to a college like the University of Dayton. So when I got recruited for football, to come to UD, I had no idea a life-changing decision that would be for me. So as a graduate of Worthington High School, I came to the University of Dayton in 1980, excited to be at college, a college that represented everything that I wanted from a university. It was a Catholic school with a rigorous education, and it allowed me to participate in college athletics. Little did I know the impact that it would have on me for the rest of my life. And I met so many people with varying backgrounds, with different interests from different places, and I particularly loved getting to be with people who genuinely cared about you as a person. One of my first memories of UD was being on campus my freshman year, and we went to the Labor Day party. Don't know if they still have that, but it used to be held on Founders Field. And I remember hearing students in the crowd, wildly, enthusiastically, just everybody's on a high. We didn't have school, and it was exciting, and so we were having a great time, and everybody said, "This is UD, baby." And so you get caught up in that. And that phrase probably seems a bit foreign and obscure to those people who've never experienced the UD tradition. But for those of us who have spent our 4 years of college at UD, it spoke volumes about this school. It signified the pride that we had being Catholic, of wanting to achieve in our endeavors, and working to make the most out of every opportunity given to us by this great university. UD represents everything that a Marianist institution should stand for. A unique set of values and a focus on creating community, much what Frank just talked about. UD embodies the 5 characteristics of a Marianist education: forming people in faith, providing a quality education, creating family spirit, educating for service, justice, and peace, and as William Joseph Chaminade would say, to learn to adapt and change to the signs of the times. As a principal of a Catholic Marianist high school, I'm grateful, I'm honored, to be able to educate others in those same values that shaped and formed me as a person. Over the last 4 days, I had the privilege to take a Kairos retreat with 55 seniors at Moeller. I'll be honest, I'm very tired right now. But I'm also very energized because I got to see over 4 days young men who want to become the best versions of themselves, who take seriously their Christian faith, who more importantly and most importantly want to serve others. And to me, that's the greatest lesson I think that Emeritus education provides, to succeed in everything that they seek to accomplish, not just for themselves, but for everybody else that they come in contact with. And those of you that don't know, Moeller's just 45 minutes down the highway here, and we send about 26 young men a year to the University of Dayton. In Moeller circles, we like to call UD Moeller North. Much of who I am, what I believe, and what I hope to accomplish in life is all due to the education I received while attending UD. As a matter of fact, I told those 55 retreatants on Wednesday night after I gave a talk that if it was not for the University of Dayton, I would not be who I am or where I am, and that's a simple fact. And as principal, I get asked by parents very often, you know, where should I send my son to college? And it's always nerve-wracking. Having done it myself, you know, you have that empathy for those parents. And most of them know I'm a UD grad. And so they always start off by saying, I'd really like to get your insight on where you think my son, you know, could be best suited. And they always say, you know, don't say UD because, you know, you always say that. So the conversation typically goes like this. They'll ask me the question, and I contemplate and think very deeply for a few minutes. And so, well, you know, he's really bright. And he's done tremendous, incredible things while he's been here. He's got unbelievable potential. Any admissions officer worth his salt would want him to attend their college. He's got to go to UD. And man, he would love UD. Are you kidding me? It's got to be UD. So I'm incredibly thankful for and to the Marianists for the education I received, for the knowledge I gained, for the people I met, for the opportunity to be part of something larger than myself, and for the community and family spirit I experienced during my 4 years here at UD. What a blessing, absolute blessing. I have tremendous pride for what UD has given to me and for allowing me to continue each day to bring the Marianist charism alive in my ministry as a Catholic educator. And that's a gift all in and of itself. It's a wonderful opportunity, and I'm grateful every day that God gives me that opportunity. So I've certainly been blessed to have an education that's provided me so much, and I'm proud, very proud to be a UD alum. So let me finish where I began this speech and also my college career. I chose UD for all the right reasons. It's Catholic, it's rigorous, and it allows you to reach your dreams. I'm humbled and I'm extremely honored to receive this award this evening. This is UD, baby.
Tonight, the University of Dayton Alumni Association presents the 2014 Distinguished Alumnus Award to a graduate whose research and teachings are changing the lives of children. Walk into the Vanderbilt Eye Institute and you're likely to see Sean Donahue juggling many roles. And the consensus is he's better at juggling those roles than he is at actually juggling.
Sean's one of those rare, we call triple threats. The people that are outstanding clinicians, are really talented investigators, and are also good teachers. They're rare, and he's one of them. He's one of the best.
Sean's the most diversely talented person I think I've ever met.
He is an excellent scholar, an excellent researcher, an excellent physician, wonderful surgeon, and a compassionate heart. He's got the whole thing.
A 1984 graduate of the University of Dayton, Sean Donahue has expertise in both pediatric ophthalmology and neuro-ophthalmology. He is a vice chair of the Vanderbilt Eye Institute and the clinical director, where he oversees 125,000 patient visits annually. He's also the Coleman Endowed Chair in Ophthalmology, teaches residents and fellows, and has a leadership role on university committees. His reputation in the field of ophthalmology goes far beyond Vanderbilt University.
Oh, he has an international reputation. He's led some of the major programs across this country in eye disease and the prevention of eye disease for young children. His CV, his resume is 100 pages long. He's published in every major journal
He's the top of his field. He's clearly one of the superstars in pediatric ophthalmology.
He's a major thought leader. He's introduced a variety of concepts on how to reach out and into communities and care for children. He's just excellent in every possible way.
Sean's leadership in developing screening programs for young children has had a profound impact on early diagnosis of eye problems that can lead to visual impairment if untreated.
It's about detecting the problems early.
Early ages, kids can't read. They can't communicate very well. They can't tell you they don't see very well out of one of the eyes.
You can't see these problems, you can't detect them, but yet they're causing a problem with the developing visual system. So the idea was to find something that was new to be able to detect these children at a younger age when treatment can be brought on earlier and can be more successful.
Sean evaluated the effectiveness of various emerging technologies that could be used in pediatricians' offices. He worked with manufacturers to improve the product, and he worked with physicians and policymakers to drive acceptance and adoption of the early detection technology.
If by the time I finish my career, automated vision screening can be an integral part of every pediatrician's office and be a part of every child's eye exam so we can detect these children before their vision loss becomes permanent, I think I'll have done my job.
Because of Sean's research and his work with Lions Club volunteers, the early screening is making an impact, both in the United States and around the world.
Just think about the fact that there have already been several million children screened, and so the amount of vision loss that's been prevented by this is really extraordinary.
Sean credits the University of Dayton for giving him the confidence to reach his potential.
The University of Dayton came around for me at what I thought was a very crucial point in my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was pretty intimidated about going to school with all these big city kids, and I was really afraid that I would struggle. And so the University of Dayton was a very vibrant community where I got to interact with a number of the professors who took me under their wing and helped me and mentored me and really gave me the confidence that I could do some of these things.
Sean's community activity includes many years volunteering with the Boy Scouts, which allowed him to share time with his 4 sons.
What he's done to affect thousands of kids, not just medicine, but in our Boy Scout troop alone, he's affected several hundred boys. We have 3 great duties. We have duty to God, duty to country, and duty to other people. And I think he's done that better than anybody I know. So I mean, he's just a great example of what we all should try to strive to be.
He is a brilliant scientist, a great physician, a great dad and family member, an athlete, just a good community leader, so many talents. He's 100% at everything he does.
He is so ambitious. This is a guy who no moss grows under his feet. He is always going, always doing something.
He sets high standards for himself and then constantly pushes himself to exceed those. And I think we see that across his life.
For his career accomplishments and his lifelong example of learn, lead, and serve, the University of Dayton Alumni Association is proud to honor Dr. Sean Donahue with its Distinguished Alumnus Award.
People aren't supposed to say things like that till you're finishing your career. I hope that's not an omen because I got a hell of a lot I want to do yet. It's such an honor to be given this award and more of a privilege to address Dr. Curran, the faculty who are here, and the rest of the alumni of this institution are here tonight. I'm very much indebted to Maura and her husband David for nominating me for this award. Of course, I'm also indebted to my parents, who were able to join us here tonight, who set the stage for me and for my 3 siblings to attend the University of Dayton and learn, and to my spouse Janet, who I met here, who endured me for the last 28 years, and to who raised my 4 boys while I pursued this career. But I'm just as grateful and probably more grateful to this fine institution, not for the award, but providing me a place where a naive, intimidated, scared high school graduate could begin to prosper and begin to learn and begin to grow into an independent, hardworking, critically thinking, motivated, and confident young man ready to pursue learning how to be an academic clinician scientist. You see, 35 years ago, next month, I received one of those postcards in the mail that all of us who have high school kids are very, very much familiar with. I don't remember what it was that caused me to return that postcard, but after a local informational meeting, my dad and I flew down here to Dayton, stayed at La Quinta Inn down the road here, and because that February evening was so much warmer than that chilly Wisconsin winter, we walked all the way into downtown Dayton, had dinner, and walked all the way back to that hotel that night. The next day, I remember meeting with Jack McCloskey, who convinced me that I could have a career in mathematics, and with Patrick Palermo, whose youthful enthusiasm for the honors program he was just starting to develop was so contagious that I caught that UD bug. In the end, I'm not sure whether it was the pre-med program that had such a high percentage of its graduates go to medical school, the large number of mathematics graduates who ended up with a PhD in something, the pride of Dayton marching band, the honors program, a merit-based academic scholarship, or the fact that this was first and foremost a Catholic university with a Catholic identity that caused me to matriculate here. And looking back, it certainly was the right choice for me, because in the University of Dayton, I found a place where where faith was king, knowledge was queen, the Jack was poured into glasses and many social occasions. The 10 was those many great athletic teams that went deep into national championships. But the ace of the royal flush of this place was somewhere where a sense of community was absolutely intrinsic to the learning and living community. At none of the academic institutions that I've been since have I seen somewhere there's as much of a sense of family as it is here at UD. And that's something you can't take for granted and you need to treasure here. But it wasn't just the students celebrating a victory on the football field or on the basketball court, or Ronald Reagan's election, or the last MASH episode. Remember that? Or the release of the hostages from Iran, or my birthday. But it was the faculty who also had an intense interest in every one of the students who was here. I already mentioned Pat Palermo, but I also remember spending many evenings in the company of people like Stan Saxton talking politics, George Zimmerman watching the Dayton Symphony, Kelly Williams, Jim Ramsey, John Rowe talking about the evolution of marine life, with a young Paul Elo, John Coughlin, and the other math faculty discussing wine, beer, and cheese at our math club parties. And even with Dean Frank Lazarus here at this Marriott at happy hour. And on a very regular basis with Father Jim Russell, who was my mentor for 2 years at Founders Hall, asking me, how's your head? But more importantly for a college student, how's your heart? Only rarely at these off-campus events did we ever talk about classes. And that's the way it was supposed to have been. It was a sense of community here at the University of Dayton that made it very special to me, and very special to many other UD alumni over the years, and which prepared me to be able to take the next step in my education 30 years ago this past month. And now over the last 2 decades, I've had the opportunity to be blessed enough to be able to return the favor, teaching, training, and mentoring others at another major academic university. Yes, the pressures of an academic medical center are somewhat different than those of an undergraduate institution. My responsibilities are a little different as well, and I'm in a secular institution rather than a Marianist one. But what is so fun about being part of a university is watching young men and young women grow and learn how to evaluate hypotheses, propose experiments, whether they may be in the research laboratory or in the minds of philosophers, economists, or political scientists, and then being able to see them look critically at the results and change their mind, knowing that all of mankind is now grown in knowledge with them as well. And our challenge as universities is that we must continue forever to do the same thing, albeit within the core constraints of the principles of our various institutions. But I would say that not nary a day goes by where I don't feel challenged by those ghosts of my UD past, some of whom are with us tonight, some of whom couldn't be here, and many of whom have already left this world, to be as enthusiastic as an educator and as passionate of a person to my students and colleagues as they were to me. Whether it be explaining to a medical student why early detection of problems with vision in young children is important, showing a physician trainee how to remove a cataract from an eye of a 2-month-old, helping a junior faculty member preparing for our first talk at a major national international meeting, or helping a colleague from another department write her first textbook chapter. The spirit of what I've learned at this institution has shaped my life from the day I first set forth upon this campus and the flames of an educator began to burn within my core. And I hope that those fond memories will continue to challenge me and motivate me for as long as I'm privileged to be able to do this wonderful job I have. Thank you again for this award and for the opportunity to present my comments to you tonight. Thank you.
Wow, so this has been a very humbling evening. I think we should give all of our award recipients one more final round of applause. So thank you to all the members of the Alumni Association Alumni Awards Committee, and please stand and be recognized. We would also like to especially thank Gary Goshlick, chairing the awards committee. So one round of applause for him as well. Immediately following the benediction, please join us in the Alumni Center to meet the award recipients and for more dessert and coffee. If you look on the back of your program, and if there's a red dot, then you are one of our lucky recipients tonight for one of the centerpieces. So if you'd like to award it to someone else at your table, please feel free to do so. In conclusion, thank you to everyone for attending our 2014 Alumni Awards celebration. It is always wonderful to have so many members of our Flyer family back here on campus, sharing in our love for UD and its community. I would now like to invite Father Burns, the 2013 Special Service Award recipient, to give the benediction.
Let us pray. Loving God, tonight we give thanks and we ask for a blessing. We give thanks for all these wonderful people that have been in a special way honored tonight for what they've given to this world of yours. We thank you for the University of Dayton and what it means to your world. We thank you for the Marianists who, through Blessed Chaminade, have given us the vision of the importance of personal relationships, of belongingness, of oneness, of community. And we thank you for those who have prepared this evening for us. In a special way, may we thank Chef Herbert, who has been with us for so many years and has given us so much. It's in that spirit, therefore, loving God, that we go forth, praying that we can continue to live lives that give glory to you and lived in your name and in the name of Mary. Amen.
With that, thank you all for coming tonight. Safe travels home, and always know you're welcome back on campus too. Thank you guys.